And we are live. What's good, Josh and man? BSN, how you feeling out there? Welcome. I really want to know podcast, man. We are here. We're gonna talk about some stuff today, y'all, man. Hope you guys are doing all right. The week's almost over. Getting into the weekend and all that good stuff, man. We had a couple days was cold down here. The cold came back. The cold came back, but now it's kind of back to normal, man. I think today, when I took my daughter to school this morning, it was like 54 degrees, like mid to high 70s right now. It's like 78 degrees, 77, somewhere in there. So back to Florida weather. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing all right. So today we're gonna have a little talk about what's going on in the dating world. I was watching Brett Cooper. You guys remember Brett Cooper from the comment section? She used to be over there on the Daily Wire. I know they're still kicking themselves for letting her get away. She's doing amazing on her channel. But she was talking about in New York. There was a big story a couple of days ago about how women in New York are paying up to $100 to go to meetup events, like to dating events, and dudes still aren't coming. Right? So people are like, what's up with that? Well, I'll tell you what's up with that, man. Let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed, man. So yeah, man, we're gonna get in here and talk about what's going on. You know, I've been talking about this for years now, way back when Fresh and Fit was first getting off the ground and doing their thing, reaching their peak. And other folks were out there talking about this red pill stuff. I was telling people back then, I'm like, hey man, the red pill is gonna go mainstream. It's gonna go mainstream. And the reason I was so sure that the red pill was going to go mainstream is because so many men were falling down the red pill rabbit hole. They were reading whatever they get their hands on. They were watching these videos. And I mean, the vast majority of dudes. Now, you had dudes who are just like extreme red pill. You got the bottom 80 guys who are just mad. You got the MGTOW guys. And then you just have the regular dudes, regular quote unquote blue pill guys who are sitting back and watching. But they're still consuming the content. And I was like, bro, this is going to be a problem. Dudes are going to pull back. Right? You got the MGTOW guys out there, but you got guys out there who are just kind of calling their own number, patting themselves on the helmet, coming out of the game, sitting down on the bench for a minute. You know what I mean? Getting some Gatorade, getting some water, just kind of watching the game. And that's what's going on right now. Guys are just sitting back watching the game. And then you have so many different content creators out here with different messages and different styles. Everything from, on one side, you got Fresh and Fit, Myron Gaines, Andrew Tate type stuff. All the way on the other side, you got people like Professor Scott Galloway. All right. You got Brett Cooper, right? You have other folks who are talking about this and they're just saying, hey, we're not saying that this is horrific. We're just saying pay attention. That's what's going on right now. And women are starting to see that dudes aren't playing the game by the old rules. So there's a video out here, man. This would be kind of good to see. This is Brett Cooper's channel. Shout out to Brett Cooper, man. She does her thing, man. Don DeMarco to her. She was talking about this story of women going to a meetup event or some sort of dating event in New York City, paying $100 to attend, and the men who were going to the same event would charge $0. Wow. Like, it's a complete flip, right? Because guys know, like back in the day, guys, especially older dudes like the Gen X dudes and all that, and the early Gen Zers, like we know you go out, you go to the club, you go to an event, you're going to be paying buying drinks, doing all this kind of stuff, and women get in for free. Now, like dudes are just kind of sitting back watching, and in order to get dudes to show up to these events, you gotta let them in for free. So let's check out this video. And I definitely, want you guys to pay attention to Brett Cooper's reaction, man. Again, shout out to her, man. She knows what she's doing. She's solid. And she likes to keep it 100. I think she's really calling balls and strikes here. So I just really want to give her flowers. But let's get into it.
All right. So a certain post on X broke the entire platform yesterday. And it was this from an account called Short Squeeze. This person wrote, breaking. The New York Times found the dating for women in NYC so brutal that some dating is charging women $100 and men $0. And the attendance ratio is still 3-to-1 women to men. And that got almost 11 million views in 24 hours. An AI image or not, if you guys are watching on YouTube, you can see that this is very clearly AI generated, but the Red Pill Bros took this information as a win. Just men have all of the power in the dating market. They have control. And listen, all of that is fine and dandy. Get excited, be happy. But I just have to say, it really does feel like a certain sect of the internet just wants men and women to hate each other. They profit off of that. A healthy, fruitful society where men and women live in harmony and work together, it just doesn't seem like part of their plan. Let me explain. Now, before we dive into this story, obviously you guys can see I am in a new space. We officially have our new set. This has been something that I've wanted to do for many.
Yeah, she's definitely in her new space. Shout out to her. Looks nice if you happen to be watching this by chance, which I doubt. But shout out to you, Brett. Your set looks nice. Congratulations on being a mom and having a successful relationship. You see, because people who get into relationships, man, men and women come together like that, bro. That's when they are both the prize. That's when you win. And there are people out here who's been, preaching this message. She says the Red Pill Bros are happy because men and women are miserable and they don't come together. I don't think that's the case. I don't believe in that whatsoever. The true Red Pill message is helping dudes figure out the game so they can get what they want. That's the real Red Pill message right there. Like, okay, it's not all lollipops and candy canes. The Disney fairy tale is just that, a fairy tale. If you're trying to holler at modern women, this is what you need to do as a man to be successful. That's the Red Pill message. And a lot of people don't like some of the messaging. They don't like what they're hearing, right? It's a lot of very uncomfortable truths when you're dealing with women today. I mean, it's always been like this. To be honest with you, it's always been a thing. But today, because we have this technology, you can just see it in 1080p. Right? You have the nicest girl, the girl next door, the sweet woman or whatever. And then guys have been programmed to believe that they have to be a certain way to get her. And they listen to her and she says, yes, I want a guy who does this, and this, all these like foo-foo things. But in reality, when you really sit back and watch and you see who she's choosing, like she's choosing the dudes that don't do any of that. She's choosing the bad boys. She's choosing the rich boys. She's choosing the narcissists, right? When you look at that, that's the Red Pill message. Right? That's it. Just know what you're dealing with. Just understand that a lot of people will say one thing, but react to something differently. Like they'll say they want this, but they really react to that. Like it is what it is. We got Brother Pitt in the building. What's happening, Brother Pitt? Good to see you, fam. Good to see you, man. So I don't know if you saw this video, man, but this is definitely worth a watch. So when Brett Cooper says that the Red Pill Bros are really happy because of this, they're not happy because people aren't getting together. They're not happy because people are miserable, but they are pleased to see that the messaging is getting through and guys, right, are less willing to waste their time, their energy, and their money on events that they know won't help them. I think that might be the case.
Many months now between babies and holidays and sickness and ice storms. This got delayed. I wanted to have this for the 1-year anniversary of the show, but a bit delayed. But anyway, new space. I absolutely love it. I'm so happy to be recording in this new studio. So thank you guys for supporting us for the last year. I'm having so much fun. I love doing this show and I love this new space. And I hope that you guys love it too. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date on every single one of our episodes. Ring that notification bell. If you want farm vlogs and BTS things, you can subscribe at CooperConfidential.com, and we will have a special little trailer for Cooper Confidential vlog at the end of this episode, so stay tuned. All right, diving into today's story, let's see how many people on X I can piss off today. Now, the first and most obvious reaction to this post and this article was that men do not go out anymore because the women do not look like the AI-generated hotties that were in this post. Somebody said because they all look more like this. And here's another AI-generated image, but obviously does not look like the one attached to that post. And yes, I will admit, I am guessing that dating in New York City looks more like this than the hot AI-generated girls in mini dresses in that tweet. You are living in a city that elected Mamdani after all. One guy on Reddit, this was in regards to these dating events, said, I don't go because I meet hotter women on the apps. Every single time I went to these events, it is always filled with women who I am not attracted to. Maybe like women in the pink pussy hats. This comment was also hilarious. The average lady looking for a date at these events, and it is the journo that was pressing Sydney Sweeney on her controversial jeans ad, of course. I do want to push back a little bit on this because when I was in New York a couple of weeks ago, I went to Evie Magazine's End of Fashion Week party, and I just have to say, gentlemen, it was chock full of conservative-leaning hot women. Hot women, tall like the Empire State Building, dressed to the nines, great conversation. So they do not all look like SJWs coming out of Portland or Seattle. Anyway, for
Yo, keeping it 100, I'm not a huge fan of New York, but I do get to New York. Whenever I'm in New York City, I'm there to do stand-up. You know, shout out to my man, Ty Barnett. Ty loves New York. He loves the comedy scene in New York, right? We got friends up there, whatever. So if I'm in New York, I'm there to do stand-up. But I will say this. When I do go out in New York, and by go out, I mean just like hit up a restaurant bar or going to a hotel lobby bar or a hotel restaurant bar or something like that. Yeah, man, I'm seeing some dimes. Like, you know, the women in New York, they move differently than the women in LA or Chicago or Miami or DC or Cincinnati or Atlanta, right? Every region has its own thing. But here's the deal. The women in New York, man, they keeping it together. They in the gym like everybody else, bro. They wearing what they wear. Like it's New York, man. You know, the bottom of their shoes are red, bro. Like they're walking around with Hermes bags, man. I see a lot of Kelly bags, man. I see a lot of Birkins, right? They're wearing, I mean, it would not be uncommon in New York to see a woman in her outfit with all her accessories and everything, man. She might be wearing $100,000, bro. Seriously. She might be wearing $100,000, and that's not even accounting for the pedicure and the facial and all the other stuff that women be doing, those little extras, right? So don't get it twisted. Don't think for a moment that there's like, you know, subpar or what you guys call them, mid women running around New York complaining about not being able to get dudes. No, not at all. Not at all. It's beautiful women in New York trying to get guys who are making, you know, $85,000 a day. They're down there trying to get the Wall Street dudes. They're trying to get these dudes that are like the corporate giants. They're trying to do whatever they do. So yeah, what she said is definitely true. If you go into one of these events, maybe you go to a red carpet event in New York, it's like going to one in LA. It's that kind of caliber, man. Or Miami or London. You know what I mean? You name it, Paris, right? They're beautiful women in New York. Don't get it twisted.
Context, this did not come from a New York Times article. This actually started with a New York Times podcast on Sunday about how Tinder is done, dating apps are over, swiping is over, and they had on a few of these reporters and columnists to discuss what singles in the city are doing instead. And one of these reporters talked about dating events. Let's take a listen. This is what sparked that tweet.
I went to an event the following night, and it could not have been more different from the first event.
What was it?
Yeah, so I heard about this second event through a friend, and it was a sort of wine mixer. I think what really got me interested in this particular event was the fact that tickets for women were $100 and tickets for men were free.
Oh my God, I think my soul just left my body. Why was it so much more for women than for men?
I mean, I think the truth is that there are a lot more women out there interested in showing up for these dating events. and it's not as easy to get men to show up.
And therein lies the issue that now the entire internet is debating. So for a little more context, this interview actually was really interesting. I like the style of it. It kind of feels like old radio in a way. It bounces back and forth between this interview in a podcast format and then actual recordings from this reporter being at these various dating events. But the event in question with $100 for women, $0 for men, it was hosted by a wine influencer. It was at her house in Brooklyn. They had wine tastings and games and snacks. And he described it as kind of like a intimate dinner party meets bachelorette party because they were playing drinking games and that sort of thing. And by the way, like, I love this entire idea. Like, you guys know, I've talked about this a lot, but one of my goals is to be able to host and put on events for you guys to go and mingle and maybe date or meet friends or just, I don't know, come share some common values and enjoy a fun evening out. And yes, I am still working on that. I wanted to put it together last year, but between starting the new show and businesses and the baby and the whole thing, it just seemed like a little too much to tackle, but I'm still working on it. And my point is, I love this style of bringing a group together with a common activity or a common interest. Remember back on
so here's the deal. I go to tons of different events. I've always been that way, especially when I was younger and I was really in the trenches heavy like that. Something like she's describing, and I would tell this to the young guys who are out here trying to do their thing, I would say, yeah, go check it out, because it'll be billed as this conservative Christian moral. Like, we got the people with the good morals, and the good people, the good girls are going to be there, bro. It's going to be a bunch of undercover 304s in the house, right? And her event will be no different than anybody else's event. It's just hosted by her. And as a dude, you would have to go in there and know about her content, talking about Brett Cooper's content, and just be able to move. And, you have to dress a certain way and you have to come off a certain way. This is why you have to be socially in tune. You would have to walk in there and it's like, okay, I'm in Rome and I'm going to have to move like these Romans to an extent. So would I go to her event today as a guy in my mid-50s? Probably not. I wouldn't do it unless I was there to network, unless I was invited by someone on her team, like, hey, let's come and talk some business. It's the only way I would be there. But if you're a young guy trying to get it in, if she throws an event, you definitely want to go to that event, because the vast majority of women are going to look like her, right? There's going to be a bunch of young, very conservative, successful women who are trying to find dudes. And the thing is this, bro, here's the thing. You ain't getting away from hypergamy. I don't care what community you in, right? The programming is the programming is the programming. Simple as that. You walk into an event, it's Brett Cooper's event or a DL Saint event or a Fresh and Fit event or whatever event it is, you want to be a top tier guy. You want to be a high value guy. Simple as that. You want to, and if you're not, you want to move like you are. So it's all about your style, your fashion, the kind of cologne you're wearing, and your understanding of the game, period. That's how it works. That's how it works. So if I were younger, bro, if I were in my 30s or younger and Brett Cooper had an event, yeah, I would go. I would go. And I'm going to tell you, I'll probably walk out of there with at least 5, maybe 10 probables. Like, I'm going to have at least 10 probables, and I'm going to leave there with someone. We're going to go and check something else out, depending on what city she's in and what time the event is. And it's Brett Cooper, I'm sure it'll be pretty early in the evening. You'll leave that and go somewhere else. So you could probably leave her event and go home, and you know what I'm saying? You can get it to the crib, bro. And
it's a lot in Frisco, I say.
You know what I have to tell them, say?
Big up to your girls.
Them flex the best.
Yeah, you come out of there with a girl who wants to flex, because they in there, bro. You gonna find your chick in there who wants to just get down, because they in there. They're in there. And bro, this is why I don't go to church events. This is why I don't go to churches, because there's so many women in there that are just bad girls, bro. They're bad girls. And like Frisco Kid said, man, big up to them girls who flex the best, because they be in there. Man, Drill's in the building. What's happening, fam? What's happening? Last good man in Jersey's in the building as well. What's good, fam? What's happening? How you feeling? So, yeah, man, young guys, you should be on the lookout for these type of events. I'm just telling you now. Be on the lookout for these type of events. Whenever there's a political event and it's conservatives doing it, y'all think the Republicans don't get down? Bro, the Republicans get down. They love to tell you what happened last time when they was at band camp, some Republican band camp. Bro.
It'll be like this one time at band camp.
Yeah, they be telling them stories. Let's get back to it.
Comment section, and actually this was in New York City as well. I did an episode years ago on that group called Single in the City, and they had these dating events where first responder guys would show up, and any woman that was like interested in dating a fireman or a police officer would come, and every one of her events would sell out. Like, people loved the stuff. Of course, libs were calling it problematic because it's like, why are you glorifying police officers, whatever, yada yada yada. But those events can be very successful and they can be very engaging. Anyway, the point is, I went off on a tangent there. The point that went viral in that podcast was that it was free for men to go, and yet still the ratio of women to men was not good. And according to other Reddit posts on this subject, this is not uncommon in New York City. One person wrote, this is only 14 days ago in a subreddit, everything marketed as a straight singles event usually winds up being 90% women and 10% men. Go with an open mind and low expectations, which honestly seems to describe the modern dating landscape in a nutshell. Anyway, in regards to all of this, there is a certain sect of people online who are reveling in this information because in their minds, this officially means it's a man's world. The women have fallen, they have been disgraced, and that this is clear victory for men. One account posted, you're telling me the last 15 years of women saying men aren't good enough isn't working out for them? LMFAO. And I mean, touche, you're not wrong. Another person commented and said, the dirty secret of today's sexual marketplace is that men with good looks and game are having a field day. They have their choice of great women who cannot demand commitment from them. The sexual revolution has made women all go for the same top 20% of men, and if you are in the top 20%, it is truly a golden age. Now, there's so many comments.
Now look, the red pill cats are like, they understand that statement. And what I tell guys is this: the top 20% doesn't lock. Like, it's not like an exclusive club and no one can get in. It's just a metaphor, which means women want the guys who present the best. They want the guys, like I said, tall, dark, and handsome. So you're like, well, I'm 5'9". Like, bro, she's 5'6". You're still tall, right? You only got to be tall. Don't mean 6'3", 6'4", right? And the key is the confidence. When the guy's a high value man, a top tier man, bro, he's confident, and that's what women like, man. Point blank, period. So these guys are like, oh, women only want the top 20% guys, so of course they're getting all of it, blah blah blah, whatever they're saying. Anyone can get there, man. If you're in the bottom 80, if you're an invisible guy, man, you can do the work and you can get into the top 20%. Simple, man. Just do the work. Hit the gym. Work on your money. Work on your social game, right? Become confident. Become good at something. You get good at some stuff, man, your confidence is going to grow from there, right? What do we say, man? ABTS, man, always be talking shit. Whenever you go out, this is how you work on your game. Whenever you out and about, you're talking to a cashier or a server, or you're talking to a police officer. You might see a female police officer. Just compliment them. Learn how to talk to folks. Learn how to break the ice. Learn how to disconnect. Break contact. When you learn how to do these things, dating becomes real easy. And you get to sit back because you can sit back and watch the game unfold and just kind of play out. And the most important thing, fellas, you can't be afraid of rejection. You're going to get rejected. This is how it works, man. She might reject you on Monday and then circle the block and come holler at you by Thursday. That's just how it works, man. And she won't even remember she rejected you. So this is all part of the game. This is all part of having the knowledge, the skill set to maneuver in today's game. So when I look at these guys, what she just said on that comment that was posted, yeah, he's 100% true. Women gonna want to get the best. I don't have a problem with hypergamy. Fellas, it's up to you to become the best. Become one of the top options, and you're going to be successful at dating, period.
Comments, and you'll see this where they're acting like this is all a newfangled issue, like, men are back on top. But I look at this and I'm like, if we're talking about the top 20% of men in terms of, attractiveness and success, money, whatever it is, I feel like it's always been a golden age for them. They've been getting girlfriends,
Facts.
They've been dating
Facts.
around, they've been getting married. Obviously, there have still been issues between men and women, but it seems like that core sect of men, just like the top 20% of women, they kind of skate through all of this. Like, how is this new? Anyway, I digress. Moving on.
And where she's wrong, there's not the top 20% of women, it's the vast majority of women. The vast majority of women have real success when it comes to dating. Why? Because guys really don't have standards. When you get into the bottom 80% of men, They're just happy that the woman can see him and starts talking to him. So this is why you have women who are, overweight. You have women who are obese. You have women who aren't that pretty. You have women who are crass. You know what I mean? They don't have any trouble getting dudes until now, right? Because guys are starting to study the game. One of the things I always tell young dudes when they come holler at me, they're like, yo, Saint, you know what I mean? Like the people who, do the calls with me, guys who want to go out with me, like we do the coaching. I was like, bro, you have to be as picky as women are. Like, you see that big girl in the corner over there? You see how confident she is? You see all them dudes over there talking to her? And she's going to curb every last one of those guys. You have to operate like that. If she comes over here, tries to get your attention, and she puts her big butt in your orbit, bro, you better not talk to her. You better curb her right away. And don't be mean about it. Just kind of see through her. She becomes invisible, and she's going to try even harder. Right? That's the game. And here's the thing. The top tier guys, the high value men will still smash, the occasional big girl just to, it's a slow Wednesday or whatever. Those women in the top, nah, they're not going to let some loser guy, some guy they really thinks of Pookie or Ray Ray really hit that. Pookie and Ray Ray got game, is going to try to get her, but she's not going to do that. Like, that's the bottom tier women who do that. You know what I mean? Like Brittany Renner, they'll do that. But the women who really believe in themselves, they're going to hold out for a guy that's at least close to what they want. If they can't get the top 20, all right, she'll open it up to the top 25. She'll get that guy as the 24%er. But anyway, let's keep going.
Somebody else said, Floyd's paying cash to meet men. Men still don't care to show up. Truly the dark ages, and it's all women's fault. I have no sympathy for anyone involved except the bros. And again, I am not disputing at all that women and feminism helped cause this. I am not disputing that women effed around. They broke hearts. They spent decades telling men that they are worthless, that masculinity is toxic, that that obviously had an impact on male-female relations, on the modern dating landscape. But I would also argue, just as an aside, again, hopefully I don't piss people off, the dating events are naturally a bit more up women's alley. So the fact that men aren't showing up isn't super surprising to me, especially because women often travel in groups. I feel like that's a joke in rom-coms that they travel in a pack. It becomes a social event. They go with a bunch of girlfriends, they make a night out of it. And I highly doubt that their male counterpart peers are doing the same thing. I highly doubt they would choose to go to a singles dating event versus just going and grabbing a beer and watching the game. Can I get what I'm saying? If you want to be smug about all of this and point to feminism and say that it's all women's fault, that's fine. Again, that makes sense. But this can't be victory. This can't be the end of the road. And we're going to get.
It's not victory. It's not the end of the world. It's just reality setting in. And she's right. I have never gone to a quote unquote dating event. And back in the day, it would be like the speed dating when they would sit you down at a clock and you get to sit down across from every woman that shows up at the event. They give you X amount of time. You talk back and forth. Speed dating events. There were events where it were lock and key events. So basically, I told you guys about this before. You would have a chain around your neck or rope. You would have a rope around your neck with a lock on it. Correction. The women would have a rope around their neck with a lock on it. The guys would have keys. And you will go around and you're just kind of meeting women and trying to unlock the lock. If your key unlocks that lock, then you go get a prize. Both the couple walks over to get a coupon or something. And at the end of the night, if you have enough coupons or, Cupid bucks, so I think that's what they call it at this event I went to, was Cupid bucks, whatever, and then you can use those to get your free drink or get 20% off of your appetizer or whatever, or get, I don't know, a pen, who knows. But those were events. You would show up. And anyway, I never went to those events with the homies ever. I would go to those events by myself. So, and when you would get there and you would meet women, come to find out it's her and her friends. I rarely came across a woman who was there by herself. Rarely. And guys, this is why you need to learn how to approach a group of women. And this is something I don't hear, the red pill cats out here, my, fellow coaches. A lot of them don't talk about how to do this. I don't even do the code approach guys talk about that. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments, but let me know in the chat. Do anyone focus on the ability to approach a group of women? And I'll just give you a quick little pointer. This is how I do it. This is how I did it back in the day when I was doing my thing. When I approach a group of women, I would go up to the least attractive one. I would go up to the one that I believe got the least amount of attention. And that's who I would talk to. And I would basically put her in the friend zone really quick. Really quick. I would step to her, start talking, and she would know right away, like, you ain't really trying to talk to me. Some of them would even say that, like, you really not trying to talk to me. I was like, you seem cool. Like, you really do seem cool. Like, yeah, I saw your girl over there, Emily. And, I talked to Emily earlier, but, she on one right now. And just get cool with the friend. Buy the friend a drink. Give her a little bit of attention and conversation. And guess what? Eventually, if you do it right, she will tell you which woman is down to do something. The DTF thing, she'll tell you which one's a freak. She'll tell you which one is married. She'll tell you which one is just out here trying to get free stuff. She'll break the whole crew down just because you gave her some attention. Right? And here's the thing. If she's fit, but just not that friendly, I would still try to smash. But most of the time, the woman that I would approach would be the one who's, got a few extra pounds, the one who got the least amount of attention. Never go to the woman who like really sexualizes herself, like the boobs out and all that kind of stuff, see-through dress. No, don't do that. Even if she's the big one, even if she's the one you think doesn't get the attention, get the one who's dressed properly. Get the one who doesn't sexualize herself. Get the one who's not wearing as much makeup. Talk to her. Talk to her. And she'll run it down. 7 times out of 10, and I'm just making these numbers up. This is just, anecdotal numbers. But it's been my experience that the majority of the time, that woman has a boyfriend. And she just got drug out because she's the one with the car, or she's the one with the credit card at work, or whatever. She's the one with the connect in the club. Just have that conversation. That's how you approach a group. Right? You want to do that. Or if they have a gay guy in the group. So you got a pack of women, it's like a gay dude in the group. Go talk to the gay dude. Or even if it's a straight dude. If it's like a blue pill guy in the group, you could tell like he's the one in the friend zone or whatever. He's the simp. Talk to him. And if he's cool, you gotta determine that right away. If he's cool, he'll run it down for you as well. He'll tell you like, no, go holler at her. She the one. She gonna go home with you tonight. Go holler at her. You know what I'm saying? Or stay away from her. She's engaged. She loves her fiance. Stay away from that one right there. The real pretty girl, like she's crazy. That's how you approach a group. Now, how do you know these things, man? You got to get outside and you have to observe. Life will teach you these things, guys. You can't read it in a book. You can't watch it in the video. You got to get out here in these trenches and you got to get some experience. So there you go. I gave y'all that one. You know what I mean? You want more information on that? You just got to hit me up. Hit me up. You can hit me up on Instagram, or you can grab some of my ebooks on Gumroad. All that stuff is scrolling below.
So that Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit obviously had a response, and he posted, "Yep, I predicted this 6 years ago. Female desperation is rising, and I'm here for it." Now, first of all, before we get into the rest of his reaction, I feel like Myron is intentionally slanting this, like women are showing up in droves and freaking out and being so anxious and in anguish. But I don't know if a dating event with 15 women and 5 men is really a great representation. And those are the actual numbers from the event that the New York Times reporter went to. 15 women, like that we're dealing with. And I also think that women are basically doing what they always do, which is date. And people have been calling women desperate for an eternity. Again, this is not some new phenomenon. Like a desperate woman is an age-old trope. Like there were desperate women in Jane Austen novels that were made fun of. Like, again, not new. However, I will concede that maybe this desperation is taking new forms. Like they are now stealing men's salads at Sweetgreens, for crying out loud. Just watch this TikTok.
Guys, the dating scene is getting so bad in New York City that I am seeing on TikTok there are girls going into Midtown during the week and stealing Finance Bros salads for lunch. And then looking their name up from the salad order on LinkedIn and then messaging them through there and being like, "Hey, oh my God, so sorry, I grabbed your salad. Like, let me just make it up to you and buy you a new one." And that's how they're like sliding in, which honestly, smart. Why are we stealing men's salads? Like why can't they just come up to us at a bar? Like,
okay, well, they're not coming up to you at a bar because number one, rejection is awful, but also they don't want to be Me Too'd. And for the last however many years, everything has become digital. Anyway, that's a totally different rant.
Yo, these dudes aren't approaching these women because the women are getting creative and calling dudes. That's why. They're not approaching you because they don't have to. Are they worried about Me Too? Sure. There's an issue with Me Too. You definitely want to think about it, especially you're out grabbing a salad, just around the corner from the office or whatever. You look around, you recognize a lot of women, like they might be with the firm or whatever. So yeah, that much concern about being Me Too. The reason these dudes aren't approaching these women is because they don't have to. Why? Because the women are approaching them. Again, if you're a high value man, if you're making $85,000 a day, right? You ain't got to holler at nobody. If you're a guy out here, you're making $250,000 a year, working your way up through the firm, you're tall, you're fit, you're in the right gyms, you ain't got to holler at anybody. I'm not mad at these guys. I'm not mad at these dudes. Trust and believe, if there's a woman standing there that he wants to talk to, he's going to holler at her. He's going to do it. He is not going to hesitate, especially that guy who's out there like that, man. He sees some girl standing there he want to talk to, bro, it's on.
Holla, 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 holla. Let me holler at you. Let me holler at you. Let me holler at you.
He'll do it. He'll do it. And it'll be something subtle. How you doing? He'll say whatever he has to say, you know, whatever his line is. Get her information and boom, they'll be out having coffee, right? They'll be out having coffee later on that day or the next day. Because at that level, women have no problem going out on a coffee date with that guy. But down the bottom 80, offer to take her out for coffee or for yogurt or ice cream, and you get those crazy videos. So yeah, so Brett, to answer your question, says, why is it women, you know, why is it these dudes aren't approaching women? Because they don't have to.
We've talked about that epidemic before, but like there has got to be a simpler way than stealing a man's salad. But in line with what we are talking about, somebody commented on this TikTok and said, I think that this is a result of all of the man hatred that has been spewed over the last few years, TBH.
Yeah.
I think that it is important to hold men accountable and vice versa, but hating men became a trend, which is why I think that good men do not feel comfortable approaching women the way that they used to, which I would agree with. But anyway, I will let Myron continue because this is really where it becomes a little bit ridiculous and gloaty to me. So then he posts this. Again, this is all in response to that one tweet about the New York Times. So he says, I called this 6 years ago. The red pill explosion woke millions of men to modern women's games. For a decade, average guys got ignored, ghosted, and treated like options. Now they're done. And I would honestly, I would blame Call Her Daddy for a lot of that. Like the entire premise of Call Her Daddy was treat men like men treat women, like play the games, sleep around, hookup culture, all of that. So Alex Cooper, I think you're to blame. Anyway, he goes,
But even that part right there, treat men the way men treat women, sleep around and all this, blah, 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 blah. The average guy is not a player. I want to say that one more time, just in case y'all didn't hear me, right? Breaking news.
Hold up.
The average guy is not a player. The average dude is not out there running rotations, right? The average guy is not playing games. He's showing up on the first date with a dozen roses, and he's going to take you to the nicest place in town, and he's going to, you know, set up a helicopter date because he's been sitting in the wings wanting to holler at you for months and months and months. He finally gets an opportunity, and then he's going to get curbed after he drops $1,200 on a night. That's the average dude. Who's out there getting on? Who's out there running rotations? The top tier guys and the high value men. High value men at the top. Top tier guys are just below them. Those are the guys. And then, of course, you got the guys in that, also included in that top 20%, are the guys who are really good at game, the pickup guys and all that. You know what I mean? You know, think of Alex with Playing with Fire. Them type dudes. You know what I'm saying? Think of Troy, right? Old boy in London doing this thing, man. Troy Francis. Those guys with the knowledge of game, they're killing it, right? But that's the top 20. Everybody else, those dudes, they're not trying to do all that, man. They're not trying to run game. They just want the one girl. They want the girl next door. They want Susie. And they're trying to do everything right to get Susie. But who was Susie chasing? Them guys up there. So, I don't agree with that part. I don't. But I agree with the feminism part. Women getting loose with it, thinking that they're going to run their body counts up like men. They're going to make money like men. They're going to be alpha, make decisions, and control everything like men. Yeah, if you do that, that could be problematic.
on and he says now they're done. They'd rather grind video games, stack cash, hit the gym, or just live free than blow thousands chasing entitled, unappreciative women in loud bars or on apps. Men are fed up with the disrespect, the hypergamy, the attitude. The men going their own way red pill trend isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. Year after year, more men will opt out. Women ignored the warning signs, and now they are living with the consequences. I talk about this extensively in my second book, Why Women Deserve Even Less, which is a sequel to my first book, Why Women Deserve Less, link below, which is is just comical. But like, okay, again, seriously, I understand your analysis on why this happened. I sympathize with that. I get it. I can point to it. But like, are we really seeing this as a victory, that this is like a good thing? It seems totally backwards and completely unhealthy to claim that the consequence is actually the positive way forward. And thankfully, we do not live in a completely deranged society, because many commenters agreed. Like, one guy said, you say this as if it is a good thing. Congratulations on doing your part to drive a wedge between men and women. Another person said, 6 years later and the master plan is opt out and play video games. Revolutionary. If your grand solution to modern dating is retreat and resentment, that is not power. That is avoidance with branding. I loved that comment. And let's be honest, it is branding, because this is his business. What is happening now is profitable for his business and the messages that he espouses. This comment was just wild and remarkable, so I had to read it. But this person said, you have correctly diagnosed the rigged game, but the men going their own way movement is a fatal prescription. Opting out to grind video games and stack cash is the path of exile, a retreat masquerading as true independence. By withdrawing, you avoid the pain and friction of the modern dating market, but you abdicate the throne entirely. A true king doesn't surrender to the chaos or hide in digital comfort. He burns the false map, masters the laws of the territory, and builds an unbreakable frame. Do not mistake a comfortable cage for a kingdom. I love that. Take that.
I mean, yeah, dude, that was well written. Whoever that dude is, I bet you his whole feed is full of that kind of stuff, which is great. I ain't mad at him. I'm not a huge fan of men going their own way. I'm not, but I understand why they do. I only say this. If you are MGTOW, tell me that you know how to go out here. You were in the trenches. You were dating. You did get married. You had the relationships. It went sideways, or whatever happened, and you just decided, you know what, I'm tired of it. I'm just going to move on. I'm cool with that. Someone like Joker, right, from Better Bachelor, Joker knows what it takes to get women. He made all of the necessary corrections. He did what he had to do. He talks about it all the time. And he was able to get on. He knows how to talk to women. He was doing this thing. And at the end of the day, he realized, like, this just isn't worth it for me. I'm moving on. And Joker's an old guy like me, Gen Xer. So if you're an old dude, went through, he's like, I'm just tired of this. I don't want to deal with this. Right? Or you one of those guys like, I don't want to deal with it in this country. I'm going to stack my money and I'm going to go somewhere else and do what I do. Then, all right, I ain't got no problem with you, man. Salute. But if you're just some young guy, invisible man, refuse to do the work, and you're just in these, in these spaces talking crazy and like, yeah, I'm MGTOW. Forget these 304s. It's like, nah, bro, you ain't never smashed a 304. You couldn't even get the loose ones. How you think you're gonna get up to the ones who the most sought after women? Like, you don't even know how to interact with women, right? You don't have a style about yourself, bro. You don't have any real cologne. Like, you don't wash your butt. Like, come on, man. You just a quitter. You were just a quitter. So if you're a quitter, if you're a guy here who refuses to do it, I ain't got no respect for you. They're like, damn, bro, why you quitting? I don't understand that. At least go out there and conquer a little bit. Go out there and succeed. Win a couple bouts, call it whatever you want, get a girl, figure out how to do it, and then decide it ain't worth it. I'll respect that. Like, man, it's definitely ain't worth it. When you read Aaron Clarey's book, when he talks about how much it costs to date women, like the book of numbers, well, those numbers are devastating. I understand. Like, man, I don't want to do that. I understand. Right. But I got no respect for the guys who just go out here and just quit. And then, and Myron is not saying that he's happy. Myron is basically saying that he's happy that guys are no longer getting just run over and blindsided, going into this game, not understanding how it works, right? The average blue pill dude gets devastated and he just doesn't understand how the game works. What Myron is saying, and this is my take on what he's saying, guys are waking up and they're like, you know what? Let me make this money. Let me become the best version of myself and let me chill. I ain't messing with none of these women here. I'm just going to play video games and do my thing, and then I could take a trip. I can go to Spain. I can go to Portugal. I can go to Colombia. I can go to Peru. Right? I can go to Japan. I can go to South Korea. If you go to any of those places I just mentioned, and you have a little bit of game, just a little bit of game, like if you're good enough to get a date and get women to want to holler at you and choose you in America, you go to any of those countries I just mentioned, you're going to kill it. You're going to kill it. You're going to have the finest women you've ever dealt with in your life. It's not even going to be that hard. It is hard to date in America, but I can't respect a quitter.
That comment to heart. Back to the point. The problem is, in my opinion, is that I think that these commenters and myself, people like us, and these red pill bros are operating from completely different premises. Like the commenter that just left that reply, he still believes in conquering challenges, in making society better, in getting married, and building strong families. And this whole red pill movement, the men going their own way, they just seem concerned with tearing it all down and essentially getting revenge. Like they're angry, and obviously, again, we can all understand why. I think all of us get it, but their solution is to burn it all down and opt out. That to them is success, but at what cost? Because that does not seem like a happy, healthy, fruitful, productive life. One woman who was brave enough to jump into his comment section said, this kind of mindset might feel empowering in the short term, but it is built on resentment more than reality. Yes, dating is messy right now. Yes, some men feel overlooked, but turning that into women deserve less just keeps everyone stuck in a cycle of blame instead of growth. Opting out is a choice. So is self-improvement. So is learning how to build healthier dynamics without framing half the population as the enemy. And also, this is such an important lesson to learn, even outside of dating in this whole issue that we're going through. Like, as humans, it is much easier to just shut down and walk away and avoid things when they are hard or when things are painful. It is easier to drop out of that course that you're worried about flunking in college. It is easier to close yourself off from people so that you don't get hurt. It is easier to not lift harder at the gym because it's painful, like whatever that might be in your life. But as human beings, and I often have to remind myself of this, we only grow and get better and get stronger when we push through and overcome things. And also when we pray and develop a relationship with God and use Hallow. Now, Lent is not
So good segue there, Brett. I'm gonna let this play on mute, but I'm with her on that, man. Like I said, man, any dude that quits, if you give up, man, I got nothing for you, bro. If you quit, I got nothing for you. This is how I feel about the quitters.
Wait, up and over. Well, what in the fuck are you waiting for, Private Pile? Get up and over. Move it. Are you quitting on me? Well, are you? Then quit.
That's how I feel about quitters. Are you quitting on me? Well, are you? Well, quit. I could care less. Quit. Right? Fellas, don't quit. Be the best version of yourself and make it happen. You guys are saying that, man, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Not with every woman, but you got to get out here and find her, bro. It is a quest, man. Think of it as King Arthur, man, and his knights, and you're looking for the golden grail. Like that's what it is, man. Finding a woman is right for you, man. It's a quest. And you have to take up that quest. I was a Boy Scout. And we would get the what was it? Boys Life or Scout Life? What anybody help me out? Who was the scout out here that got that? Remember those publications they used to send? Was it Scout Life or Boys Life? It was some magazine they would send us. Boy Scouting magazine. And in there they had the Adventures of Prince Valiant, right? It was like this little quick little cartoon that would be in there. And it was just telling stories of this young knight who's going out here dealing with what he had to deal with and just making things happen, right? Just overcoming adversity, right? And accomplishing the mission at all costs every time. And maybe that programming stuck with me, man. Maybe that's why I wanted to be a paratrooper so bad. Maybe that's why I wanted to be in the military. Maybe I wanted that, right? I wanted that tough life. And dating is hard. Now, Brett doesn't realize how difficult it is for men out here to get on. She's talking about the MGTOW guys, like men going their own way. And she's talking about dudes, quitting or whatever. And she's right. I agree with her. But she doesn't truly understand how difficult it is for men in dating in the West. It's always been hard. It's always been hard, right? It's always been tough. And what has made it so difficult? Technology, man. Dating apps. Women truly believe that they have an infinite supply of men. And they're kind of right. Because I can just jump on my phone, jump on Instagram, and I could be communicating with a woman in South Korea. I could be communicating with a woman in Poland. I could be going back and forth with a woman in Somalia. Like, it is what it is. And then you look at stuff like, was it Omingo? Is that still around? You jump on and talk to people in different languages. You just meeting people randomly or whatever. The game has changed, right? So clip that. I had to say that for my AI. But let's get back to it. Uh-oh.
be happy other than you and your business and your brand. And interestingly, what this New York Times reporter found in his tiny dating event might not be indicative of the entire dating landscape. For example, take this TikTok.
You're a pretty successful woman trying to date in New York City, you might genuinely be cooked. People talk about how it's the greatest city in the world for dating. For guys, yeah, there's a 70-30 split. Everyone here has a college degree. Women are smarter than men these days. For being one of the most diverse, beautiful cities in the world, a lot of the guys here are very bland. You want a finance bro? You want a traditional 5'7" douchebag? Go for it. But then the dudes that do well here with women have all the options in the world and have massive egos. And there can be a paradox where as a successful, attractive woman, you have all the options, but how many of those options do you really want, and do you want to commit and would want to commit to you? And I think a lot of women really want guys to be respectful and be confident and go up to them in person, but it's not happening. And because so much of dating is online dating, you get in this cycle of all the options in the world and yet no options at all.
So similarly, he is
dude's doing a little bit of pandering, but when I saw that video, that TikTok and old boy's talking, and this guy is just, average looks, you look at his crib, like, okay, he's got his crib together. Yeah, that guy's going to do well in New York. He's going to do well in LA. He's going to do well in Atlanta. He's going to do well in Dallas. He's going to do well in Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Cincinnati, Philly. If you got yourself together, you on. That part he said where women are smarter than men because they're graduating in college in higher numbers, I don't mean they're smarter, man. Like, it's just, academia, man, like the university level is geared a certain way that women are just finding a lot of success, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. I agree with I keep saying doctor, but Professor Scott Galloway. You want women to get these degrees, and they're doing well. They're coming out of college with these degrees in, advanced basket weaving or whatever, or, they all want to be, they all get into the hair shrinking business because they want to figure out what's wrong with themselves, right? And that's one of my female friends told me that. It's like, really? Like, yeah, I got into psych because I wanted to know why I was so crazy. Oh, didn't know that. But anyway, they're graduating in higher numbers. They're making more money. Cool. But it's the hypergamy part that keeps them from dating the guys that are shorter than them financially. And that's a big thing. It's a big thing, right? You got a guy who's making $80,000, $85,000 a year living in, I don't know, Atlanta, Georgia, in the suburbs somewhere, has his own plumbing company. You have a woman who's making $95,000 a year and she won't consider that guy a viable, mate because he's not making enough money. Like, well, he's making $10,000 less than you and he owns his own business. Why wouldn't you get with him? You guys are on the same level. Nope. She wants the guy who's making $375,000 a year. Now that guy will smash her. He will play with her. He's not going to commit to it. He's not going to commit to her. And then she winds up alone. And then that guy who was the plumber is making all that money. People say, well, he winds up alone too. Nah, not really. That guy, the plumber, he winds up going to one of those countries I named earlier, finding a woman who doesn't really care about him making $85,000 a year. She doesn't even understand how much that is because she's in a different financial system, like different currency. But she really likes the guy. She falls in love with the guy. And she marries the guy. And she comes back to the home and yeah, she makes some sandwiches and they have children and they live happily ever after. Meanwhile, old girl that he wanted to holler at first, she has a bunch of dogs, a bunch of cats, and she does videos about how she found a baby deer. And that's her life. And that's the game. Brother Michael's in the building, man. What's happening, man? All is well on this end, man. I hope all is well on your end. Like I said, bro, I will be on your soil probably late spring, early summer. I got to come down there to do something. I will definitely be in Brickell, but I'm going to holler at you, man. I'm actually going to be filming remotely from Miami. So I'm going to be doing a show down there and everything. So I'm definitely going to holler at you, bro. Maybe we can meet up at Dolphin Mall, man, have a drink or something, man. So it's always good to see you. Definitely stay away from them hair hats. But yeah, clip that. Hopefully it'll go back and clip everything I just said. Working with this new AI, just trying to see if I can seeing how it works. I'm just trying to figure it out. So excuse me when you hear me say that. But yeah, what old boy is saying is cool. Like, he's probably getting on. He's like, oh man, there's a bunch of beautiful women here. There's more women than men, and da. And he has enough game to be able to run what he wants to run. He's running the game he wants to run. And that's what's up. That's how it works. This is why you want to be successful. This is why you must be the best version of yourself, fellas. You got to be the best version of yourself if you want to have success in this game. And here's the thing, no guarantees. Be the best version of yourself. Do everything you're supposed to do. You know what that is. Go out there, talk to the women you want to talk to, get your game up, find the one woman you think you want to be with, vet her for at least 2 years. And you can do all that, man, and she can check out. You guys could get married, all that good stuff. And then guess what? She might change. She might decide she don't want to deal with this anymore and just be out. Right? It could happen. It could happen. And even if you do, get your prenup like you should. Have your postnups. Do everything right. You're still going to be salty because you lost all that time and she left anyway. Right? But you did take the precautions. It's like, all right, at least she's not leaving with 2/3 of your stuff. But she's still gone. And, it's going to affect you, bro. Men aren't made of stone, man. Guys are emotional too. So, but it just happens, guys. That's how the game is played, man. Don't get mad if it doesn't work. Don't get mad like, man, I thought I knew her. I did everything. I vetted her. My people said she was cool. My family, mom and dad gave the thumbs up. Man, she's perfect. She did everything. Vetted her for 2 years. We were engaged for a year. We finally got married. And then 4 years after we got married, she walks away. She's like, yeah, I didn't lose a whole bunch of money. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't lose my properties. I didn't lose my retirement, but I lost her and I lost all that time. I'm like, yeah, man, that's just the game, son. Sorry. That's just the game. Sometimes you strike out, man. Sometimes the Hail Mary gets dropped in the end zone for that winning touchdown and you lose. Sometimes, but you just got to take those steps and mitigate the potential downside. That's it.
Arguing that men, especially that top percentage of men, hold all the power in New York City, that they have all of the options and it might not be as great for women. However, some, that's the caveat, women in the comments did not agree that they were totally cooked. Like one woman said, it's just as amazing for women. What do you mean? Another woman said, I don't know, personally, I've had a great time dating here and I don't think I'm wildly attractive, LOL. And most of it has been in person. Was only on the apps for a few months pre-vaccine. You just have to leave the house. But that's the hard thing. People don't want to leave the house. They want to be on their phones 24/7. Another person said, really? I've had 3 NYC boyfriends and they all wanted to get married and I didn't want to. Would rather.
There it is right there. She had 3 dudes that wanted to marry her, probably good guys, and she didn't want to get married. She'd rather be single. When her beauty runs out, she's going to be still the woman on the outside. This is what you got to look out for. Your vetting process should weed her out, fam. She should not make it through your vetting process. You're talking to a woman and she's telling you how she had 3 boyfriends, 3 guys wanted to marry her and she wouldn't do it. What makes you think she's going to want to marry you?
Rather be single, she says. But of course, like that comment shows therein lies the issue. And if men are dealing with countless women who do not want to settle down, who are just interested in dating around, who are girl bossing in their New York City cubicles, who are getting microbanks, I don't know, whatever you guys are doing, then yeah, they will probably opt out or they will move and just change dating markets. But the point is, what I'm trying to say here is that I feel like I say this in every single dating episode, but it's not a black and white issue. Some men and women in different dating markets are still thriving, but it is a hard market regardless. It's just like the real estate market in 2026. It is complicated and it is complex. But what does seem to be an objective truth at this point is that the red pill bros, the men going on their own way movement, whatever that is, they are never happy. Nothing will please them because honestly, just like liberal feminist women, all they do is complain and desire to hate the opposite sex. No matter what we do, they will find a reason to be upset. They are even complaining over Evie Magazine trying to teach women how to have better sex and better please their husbands. Literally. Now, in case you missed that entire controversy happening on X right now, Evie Magazine's newest print issue, they do a couple of print issues every single year. This next issue is going to be all on sex for married women. And here's the cover right here. Obviously, this got a lot of people fired up in many ways, but in a recent post, they explained why they're doing this. So I want to read this to you and then show you the response to just show you how ridiculous and hypocritical it really is. So this was a letter from Brittany Hugo Boom, who is the editor-in-chief and the founder of Evie. And she said, "Dear readers, this is the first of many themed issues, and it is the most ambitious thing we have ever done. For years, a recurring plea has shown up in our DMs, our emails, and our survey responses. Young, married women are asking us for real, honest, and detailed guidance on sex. A reader once wrote to us and said, progressives own sex positivity but abandoned marriage and monogamy a long time ago. Conservatives own marriage but can't bring themselves to be sex positive. That stuck with us because it's true, and it perfectly describes the gap that millions of women are living in. Many young women, especially from traditional religious families, have come into womanhood without learning anything about sex. They save themselves for marriage and then they realize that the culture that told them to wait had absolutely nothing to say about what comes after the altar. They grew up with negative associations to intimacy but were expected to become uninhibited the moment that they said, I do. We believe that sex is one of the most important foundations to a thriving marriage. You cannot call something sacred and then refuse to take it seriously. Now, she goes on, there were other parts of it that were also controversial to the detractors online, but like, to me, what Evie is doing, it sounds like a good and healthy thing, because for years, young women have been bombarded with sex positive content. However, it was not positive in the slightest. It was not beautiful or healthy at all, in my opinion. It was explicit and gross advice from Call Her Daddy and Teen Vogue, who encouraged women to sleep around like men and play the dating games and find your perfect non-binary queer vibrator, which was a literal article that was released on Teen Vogue. Meanwhile, on the right, and for girls from more traditional families or who are more traditional, the advice is always, save yourself, embrace traditionalism, embrace purity. But again, what happens when you get married? And even if you aren't a virgin when you get married, maybe you're still looking for pointers. Maybe you don't really know what you're doing. So where do you look? Where do you go for that advice? Certainly not Cosmo or Teen Vogue or freaking Alex Cooper. Hopefully it's not porn or smut, even though that has become far more common for women, unfortunately. So this is a niche that should be filled. This should make a lot of people happy. Now, some people responded to this and said, this is weird. Mass media should not be talking about this.
It's not weird. It makes sense to me. You got a lot of young women who were able to, not ride that sea carousel. Women who did value their purity, their virginity, got married, no bodies, get this guy. And then they begin to discover their sexuality, right? Now, here's the thing. Sometimes they'll get a guy and they'll find out that this dude doesn't have any experience either. And it's real easy for dudes, especially if you got an inexperienced guy. It ain't going to take him long. It's not going to take him long. It's just, 2-3 pumps. And yeah, you do your dump. I'm finished. He goes to sleep. So instead of, I would suggest if a young woman came to me saying, hey, I'm trying to get better in the bedroom for my husband. I really want to please him. What should I do? What video should I watch? What articles should I read? Say, why don't you just talk to him? Why don't you guys explore that part together? Right? Because obviously he wasn't that experienced or he doesn't care. Like it takes time to please women in bed, fellas. If y'all didn't know that, I just want to go ahead and let y'all know it takes time. It takes practice. You got to know what you're doing. So in a situation where you guys are, both inexperienced, how about y'all practice together? And I'm telling you, I don't think that'd be a conversation he doesn't want to have. I just don't think so. But you might have a guy who's like, oh my God, you sound like a 304. Like, yeah, she's your 304. Y'all married, bro. She's trying to please you. I've seen women who got in situations where their husband didn't want them to do anything in bed, just lay there, real talk. They didn't want, and then these dudes will have other women for that. So like, it was a bad thing. She's like, well, I never get anything out of it. He don't want to talk to me about it. So what does she do? She goes out and she gets her needs met elsewhere, comes back home. So there are situations when a dude will actually push his wife out there into the streets, man. So I would say definitely just, work on it together. If you got an experienced dude, you won't have this conversation, because if you got a real experienced dude, he's going to be out here doing his thing, doing all kind of stuff. He's going to want you to experience all sorts of stuff. So yeah, he ain't going to stop until you were just shaking in bed and can't help yourself. Your toes curl up like that there. That's the experienced dude. If you get the inexperienced dude, who knows what's going to happen? Talk to your husband if you guys are both inexperienced, and then y'all figure it out together. You don't need videos, right? You don't need articles. All y'all need to do is just do what y'all doing and work on it, right? So, and Brother Penny is like, men are finally leveling the playing field. Guys that just want to hook up can learn game. Guys that still want long-term relationships can use their passports. Guys that want to be left alone can go MGTOW, right? That dating event is the result of men regaining control. Facts. Just that dating event is just an example of men who understand what's going on, and yes, they are getting some control there. 15 women. What was it? 15 women there. There's like, was it like 5 dudes or something like that? Good ratio. Good ratio. All right, but then it depends on what to do. It's not like it was 15 dimes in there. So, it's one of those kind of things. But yeah, guys are figuring it out. We got Brother Tez in the building. What's happening? guys are figuring it out. Guys understand that they can just move on and you know, they got leverage in the game, especially the high value men and the top tier men. Brother Ends in the building. What's happening, fam? Like if we got to pay $100 plus on a date, well, right. And here's the thing. Women are behind this shift, bro. No doubt about it. Women are behind this shift. And the high value men and the top tier men have all the control. That's what modern feminists have done. The leverage is definitely with the men. So what's the answer for the guys who aren't in the top 20, top 10%? Do the work and get up there. Do the work. Become the type of man that women want. And guess what? You'll be able to go to these dating events for free, right? You'll be able to get in there for free and do these events. Like, it is what it is. Let's listen to the last little bit. Well, you know what? I think we're done there because she was talking about the whole how to handle that dating stuff. I mean, the sexual part in your marriage. That's a whole nother conversation. But like I told Myron and Fresh way back in the day, I'm like, man, Red Pill is going to go mainstream. And back then I was saying that I think Fresh and Fit could be like the tip of the spear. Of course, that's before Myron started getting into his political stuff. And then, you know, with all the controversies and getting demonetized and all that. But I will say this, there is a video out there. Let me see if I can find it, guys. There's a video out there, a trailer on Netflix. Netflix has done a documentary about the Red Pill. Have you guys seen this? I'm gonna see if I can find it on Netflix. I saw the trailer. You got you have Myron's in it, Sneako's in it, that HS TikToky guy is in it. Who else is in it? Who else is in it? Let's look at it, man. If I can find it. It's a Red Pill movie. Here it is. Justin's in it. So, but let's check it out. Let me see if I pull it up. All right, so, and I would tell you now, bro.
I normally train a little bit earlier in the day.
I'm gonna tell you now, man. I'll wait for this. I'm gonna play this and then I'll tell you my take on it.
I know
a hit piece, 100%. Right, and they know it. And like I said, the Red Pill is mainstream. Simple as that. The Red Pill is mainstream. It ain't gonna stop with Netflix. You're gonna hear stuff on NPR. You're gonna see stuff on NBC, CNN, CBS, ABC. You're gonna see it on MSNBC. And what you're gonna see an attempt to change the narrative. So this Netflix documentary is meant to make this Red Pill thing look cultish and all that. And then are there people who could run cults and is it kind of crazy? Yeah. They went to talk to the most extreme folks out there. Right? They could have easily gone to Michael Surtain and talked to him about what Men of Action is all about and what they're doing. In fact, I think it was an LA, I think it was KCAL or something like that out in LA. They did a whole expose on Men of Action and what Michael Surtain is trying to do. They could have easily gone and talked to Rich Cooper and get his story and you know, hear what he's trying to do, especially like what message he's trying to push and what exactly is he trying to do. Like there's so many people they could have spoken to, but they want to go to the most extreme side and they want to spin their narrative. And, you know, looking at that, I'm surprised that Myron even agreed to do the interview. Like, bro, why would you, like, man, you know what they're trying to do here. Yeah, you know what they're trying to do. And he did it anyway. You know, it seems like it's just Myron, not Fresh. I wonder who else they have in there. Right. And like someone like Sneako. Sneako's out there, bro. Sneako's out there. When you meet Sneako in real life, man, it's not the same guy that's on camera. And that's another thing, too. A lot of people, like, you see this stuff on camera and you think that's the person. Nah, that's not the person, man. That's not the person. Like, you got to be around when the cameras go off. So there it is, guys. I'm definitely going to watch that when it comes out March 11th on Netflix. I'm going to check it out. But it's a hit piece. It's 100% a hit piece. And it's not going away. And what I mean by that, this red pill message is not going to go in, it's not going anywhere. More and more dudes are coming over and watching, right? You might not see them at some event or something like that, but they're watching, they're hitting folks up. People are looking for what they're looking for. I get guys hitting me up all the time, like, yo, man, I like your version of the red pill. It's like, it's not a version. It's just, this is how I see it. I'm just trying to help you not fall into the same traps that I fell into. If I could do that, if I could help one dude avoid the family law system, then to me, I'm happy. That's if I can help one guy avoid that. If I can help one guy plan for that. It's like, look, I want to have a family. I want to have kids. But I was listening to what you were saying, bro, and I think you're right. How can I avoid this? Like, hey, man, start with the prenup. Definitely want to get married. Make sure you vet properly. All the stuff that I say, right? I'm going to put all that out there, right? And then once you do all that, you still got a plan for it going sideways. So talk to a lawyer. Get the best lawyer in your area. If you move, one of the first things you should do if you move somewhere, if you move from LA to Dallas, as soon as you get to Dallas, find out who's the best family court lawyer. Like, who's the best? Go holler at him. Go pay that money. Right? Go ahead and start, get that retainer going. Like, here you go, man. Go $5,000. I hope I'll never need you. Or however that works. Like, you know how much they cost. Stay on top of it. Just in case it goes sideways. Just in case. Stay on top of your paperwork. Make sure your prenup was good. You and your fiance worked on that. And then also let her know, like, we're gonna do post-nups. We're gonna talk about this. If this goes sideways, we're gonna decide what happens with us, with our transition, and what's gonna happen with our children, and what's gonna happen with our properties. We're not gonna let the state do it, because the state is trying to get paid. As simple as that. The state wants to max out on child support and alimony so they can get their Title 4D money via the Social Security Act, which is 66% on the dollar, if not higher. That's what the state wants to do. That's why the judge is ordering what the judge is ordering. This is what you do. Right now, it's just a matter of time. Like, Netflix is going to put this out, but news organizations are going to really start digging into this. And I really think that it's going to be Michael Sertain. I think it's going to be Dr. Orion Taraban, Rollo Tomasi, of course. Rollo's just like the old head who, was in this from the beginning. There's going to be more and more just people in the middle. They're going to come out and talk about why there's a need for this red pill message, what's going on with the manosphere. When you see it's so many dudes out there, like what Michael Sertain talks about. These guys that have never thrown a football, man. Never hit a baseball, never swung a bat, never taken a layup. They've just never done it. They just weren't athletic like that or whatever. Like, I didn't play sports, whatever. Like, well, and then they realize, because Mike makes them come out and play, that it's not just the physical activity, it's a bond, right? You start in like a little brotherhood or whatever, right? And then you can get good at something. And women like guys who are good at stuff, and you get your confidence together. So y'all let me know what y'all think when y'all watch that Netflix documentary, March 11th. You can already tell they are going to clown Myron. They're going to clown that Tiki-Taki guy. Never met him. But it's funny. Everyone else in that trailer, I've talked to. But I've never met the HS Tiki-Taki guy. Like, he's from London, and now he's living in Dubai. Never met that guy. And yeah, there's a business to this, bro. There's a lot of money to be made in this business. A lot. But there's a lot of information that these guys need. The vast majority of men are blue pills. So I'm going to leave it there. Tomorrow, we're definitely going to do a show tomorrow. And tomorrow is going to be the show, hopefully. I want to show you what the Medium Man has put out talking about the red pill and the blue pill. He made a couple videos that are outstanding. I think the red pill video he put out, basically explaining what the red pill is the best video I've seen to date. And it's just a matter of time before some mainstream media publication or some mainstream media organization is going to come to him, the Medium Man, and talk to him about what he has going on, because he's not red pill, right? But he's out here helping dudes, and he's out here with the numbers. He's the guy that's just like the, kind of like our brother Pitney here. He's the keeper of the numbers, of information. And I think that he's going to have a place in mainstream media when it comes to this, because our society needs men to be engaged, because men are the batteries that drive the American society and all societies in the West. If men check out, America can't continue the way it's been continuing. If men check out, that means women really got to step up. And I just don't see that happening. And I don't want men to check out. So that's it, fellas. That's all we got for today. I'm pretty sure we had a couple ladies out there watching, and Ninja watching and all that. I appreciate y'all, man. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Definitely share this with a friend. And we're gonna keep this going over here. So tomorrow we're gonna be talking about Medium Man. Saturday, Sunday-ish, or maybe Monday. I want to talk about people being underpaid in America. Got another good video of a person kind of talking about that. And we're seeing the effects of what's going on in the economy. Everyone's working, everyone's hustling. People got primary jobs, secondary jobs, side hustles, and it still isn't enough. Why? Because everyone's underpaid. Everyone is underpaid. That's why. Right? So we're going to get into that. And then we're also going to, talk about what's going on in real estate and finance and all that. And I'm still waiting to find some more information on what happened with that boat that went down to Cuba, and 4 people got deleted, 6 other people got shot up by the Cuban Coast Guard. Still kind of watching that story. It doesn't look like America's trying to use that as an excuse to kind of make some sort of military move down there, but it's still early. Who knows? Marco Rubio, he's busy doing some other stuff, but trust and believe Cuba is still on his hit list. So it is what it is. Look at that, brother. He was like, I think we should protest. Hey, man, look, the protest is don't support it. You know what I mean? That's the protest. But I would definitely, when they drop that, I would definitely send an email or a comment on that. Matter of fact, I'll link this in the video, and I'll link this here in the chat. You guys can just go and comment on this if you want. Go and comment on this and just kind of, say what you got to say. Just kind of say like, hey, it looks like it's going to be a hit piece, but let's wait and see. Let's see. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Are they going to talk about men's struggles and what's going on with the average guy here? The fact that men don't have the same earning potential that they did in the past, that men don't have friends anymore. Guys don't come outside. Like a third of men today are virgins. You know what I mean? The guys, it's a lot going on right now. So are they going to talk about that? We'll have to wait and see. But that's it. That's all we got. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm out of here, man. I'm DL Saint. This is That Really Want to Know podcast. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.
Thanks for watching. Really appreciate your support. And if you like that video, check out this one or maybe that one. We'll see you around. Peace.